Hello everyone, welcome to this week's live, and I'm doing this live from my new house. Just moved over the weekend, wearing different glasses because I can't find my other ones. Chances are you relate when you've moved house. But lovely, today we're going to talk about a topic that I don't think gets talked about enough, and it's nausea post-weight loss surgery. And I want to talk about what it can look like for different people and some strategies to manage nausea, okay? So welcome everyone that's jumping on. For people that don't know me, my name is Jane Stoltze. I am a registered dietitian. I'm a bariatric dietitian, and I work solely online with people all over the world in my coaching and support program. So welcome. Let's talk nausea post-weight loss surgery. So anyone that's actually on that's had surgery, weight loss surgery, and you've experienced nausea after your surgery, I'd love you to put a 1 in the comment, okay? So for people that have had nausea for a couple of days post-surgery, that can be something that is transient, meaning short term. So they can have people can have nausea for a few days and then it passes. And it's only then occasionally that they can experience nausea when they have a food maybe that doesn't settle well or eat too quickly, and in those instances, okay? So I want to talk more about when nausea continues. So anyone that's had more than kind of a few days or a week of nausea post-surgery, I'd love you to put a 1 in the comment. Hello everyone that's jumping on. With my lives, anyone that's been on my lives, if you have other questions, please let me know. But I wanted to talk about some strategies you can do if you have nausea that goes on for a bit longer after surgery. Because remember, we're aiming to build up your fluid intake and then build up your food intake. And when people have nausea, it can be really challenging and it can be a real struggle. So is anyone on here? I'd love to hear if anyone's experienced kind of more than a week's length of nausea. It doesn't look like it, but I'm going to talk about it because I want to talk about some key steps to go through if you have nausea long term. Many people are sent home from hospital with a range of different medications, and often there'll be a proton pump inhibitor that's something like pantoprazole, omeprazole. The OLE is at the end of the medication name. And that is to help lower stomach acid production in your tummy. And that's quite a standard medication people are put on post-surgery. Another thing that people are sent home with post-surgery often is an anti-nausea medication. Not everyone is sent home with one, but it's very helpful if you are, because I really encourage my clients to use that anti-nausea medication as they need to help them get in their fluid if they are experiencing nausea when they get home, and get in their food, okay? So if you're experiencing nausea a bit longer term post-surgery, after you get home and it's continuing over days and weeks, and that can be not as common when it goes on for weeks and months, but it does happen, the first thing I want to really encourage you to do is stay close with your bariatric centre as much as you can, or your primary care provider, to see what medication they can provide for you to support or manage your nausea the best you can, okay? So that's number 1. Not being worried about using medication. We really need to use it, and I'm going to talk about how we use it strategically to help you take in enough fairly good hair. Cool, beautiful, good. I'll come back to that, beautiful. So we need to not only get the best medication regime we can to help manage your nausea, but also to take it strategically. And that means I know I'm going to eat something, so I'm going to take it a little bit before, so it's there to help you manage to be able to eat some food or drink some fluid. Most people, so fairly good hair, your op is in 3 weeks, beautiful. Most people will have a short period of nausea post-surgery. It's in the hospital a little bit when they get home, Some fluids go down well, some then cause a bit of nausea. We park those to the side, we stick to the fluids that are settling good for you. And that can be not only the fluid, but also the temperature. And then sometimes people experience a bit when they start foods and we say, okay, well, are we eating slow enough? Is it the food? We put things to the side and we really try different things, and it can be kind of come and go. And that's very, very normal. Some people, unfortunately, do have more nausea. It can be around even when they're not eating, or they get a bit of relief, or it can be hard to put a handle on, but it continues for some time. It can continue for several months, okay? But the first thing is medication. That can be very helpful, because we don't want you to stop eating and drinking, because we want to get your intake up from a hydration perspective and build up your intake, okay? So that's number one. I'm going to go through some tips now to help you if you are experiencing nausea. Number one is sit still when you're eating and drinking. And I know that sounds really not unusual, but sitting still and really going very slowly through sipping or eating can really help with nausea. Sitting still, eating and sipping very, very slowly, okay? Not moving around. That is number one. Number two is when people have nausea, we want to keep the aromas down. We want to keep the smell down, meaning we want to have foods that aren't too aromatic, because that can really cause more nausea for some people. Colder fluids and food can go down better and can just settle better than warmer foods. Okay, then we want to look at, are we eating small enough bite? Are we eating slow enough? Are there certain foods that exacerbate, that cause more nausea? And they are the foods that we want to park to the side. And I talk all about putting those foods on a list. So being really clear about the foods that are causing more nausea on a list, okay? And focusing more on the fluids and the foods that are causing less nausea, okay? Because that means your medication is going to be more effective, meaning you're going to get better relief, and it's a nicer experience for you to eat and drink, okay? So sitting still, small bites chewing, really going really slowly. And that is because sometimes it's not the food that can cause that feeling of nausea. It can be actually how you've eaten that food. Keeping things cold, keeping things low aromatic foods and fluids, because that can cause more nausea for people. So the people that are just jumping on, I am talking about managing nausea post-surgery. And the first thing I mentioned was to really stay close to your bariatric centre or your primary care provider and really work on the best medication for you to help manage that nausea until it subsides and goes, okay? So most people are just going to have it for a short period. Oh, I've lost power. Oh, that's great. Okay, so my new house has just lost power. That's not a great thing. But yes, so we want to keep things really still and eating slowly and get the medication working. And then over time, we want to work out the foods that are best tolerated for you. So just know that most people's nausea will subside. Okay, fairly good hair. I hope this helps you. You are pre-surgery, which is a great place. You're listening to this pre-surgery. Most people have it very transient. Any other questions for me? People that aren't used to my lives, just know that I answer questions not just about the topic, not just about what I'm speaking about. Very happy to answer other questions. I think I'm going to do more talking about nausea because it certainly doesn't get talked about enough. And most people, yes, it is transient, but some people do have it for longer. And I find that many people don't go to their primary care provider enough, don't go back to their bariatric centre enough, or reach out for support. And it can be really hard to get adequate intake. So people are jumping on, I've finished just wrapping up talking about nausea, managing nausea. I would love to just share a little bit about what I do. My program, the Bariatric Nutrition Bootcamp, is a 4-month-long program. I work with people pre-surgery and every stage after their surgery. We set personal goals and I coach you over that 4 months towards your personal goals. So it really depends if you are I'm working you from day one, recovering from your surgery, or if I'm working with someone 2 years post-surgery, working on managing those habits that are taking them off course, grazing, snacking, drinking more of their energy. All of those things, I work with a whole range of different challenges that people have. I'm very passionate about the work that I do. If you would like to know more about the support I offer, please pop in the word support in the comment and I'll come back and I'll chat to you with no pressure or obligation. Fairly Good Hair, thank you so much for your comment. I'm so helpful. What I've said has been helpful. And now I'm going to go off and see what's happened to my power in my new house. Fun. Thank you so much everyone for jumping on, and I look forward to being back with you next week. Bye for now.